Today I'm going to be talking about difficult people, and I'm going to be talking about a couple of stories that I have with these two difficult people who are my greatest teachers about who I am, who I've been, and it shows me how I can become, and it's going to show you what you may need to do and who you are being when you are in these difficult relationships. So my name is Patty, and I help you find the unconscious, unloving parts of you and turn them into more loving and conscious parts of you so that we can have a more conscious, loving world. To be aware of our own stuff inside of us that creates our own chaos. I'm going to share my chaos with you. Listen up as I share this story. And please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. So, my ex-husband was a philanderer. He was not only a philanderer, but he was also a user. He was also an alcoholic. And yes, I fell in love with him because that's my pattern. That's what I know really well. And in the years when we first got married, the first 6 years we were married, I gave up every part of me so he would love me. When he threatened to leave me, when he threatened to kick me out, my fear of abandonment kicked in, and I could not bear the thought of being abandoned. I kid you not. So I lived in a way that I had never lived in my life, in a way that was so unloving to me, just so that I would not feel abandoned. My fear was so huge, and I have to love that part of myself. But what happened was the abuse continued, the emotional abuse continued. And if I told you the shit that I did, 2.5 hours driving back and forth to work in a 14-hour day job with living on a fucking boat in the wintertime, this Florida girl was not liking it. But fast forward after those first 6 years where I thought I was in heaven and I was in hell, it got even more hellish because he started stepping out on me because I wasn't giving what he wanted. But I was so desperate. I just kept doing it and doing it. Finally, we moved off the boat. We moved back to Florida, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I mean, he had a girlfriend who was living in my house. I wasn't living there, but he was, and I finally gave up. It was awful. And then when I realized I couldn't do it anymore, I left him. He was troublesome. And when I left him, it took years to overcome the pain and the abandonment and all of that. And then I started seeing who I was, this fearful little girl who didn't want to be left alone. She was so scared. She would do anything to hold on to this relationship, anything, even though I was only not even getting breadcrumbs because I didn't want to have another failure. And when I saw who I was being, I didn't want to be that person anymore. So his girlfriend filed for divorce for him. Really, that's what happened. She was like tired of me not giving up. So she forced it, and he wasn't able to do it. So anyway, that's what happened. But there, I had this moment where the greater part of him needed to show me who I was being so I could have a better, more loving life. And I'm not kidding when I'm telling you this has been really fucking hard for me. Really hard, because I had to give up that life that I had, that I loved. There were parts of it that I absolutely loved and cherished, but I will no longer have it because I started valuing myself more. Then the second story I wanted to share with you is about a woman who absolutely dislikes me in ways that I can't even tell you. And most people love me. Most people don't not like me. So she kept showing up in this unloving manner and castigating me and making fun of me and looking down on me. And I could not bear it anymore. So I stopped. I had to give up those things that I loved the most, the parts where I felt the greatest in my life. I cannot show up with abusive people anymore. My tolerance for abuse, like I have zero tolerance. Like I just drop it right away. That's how I am today because I want to have a loving space in my heart. And these two people, my greatest teachers, show me how I am a wimp, how I am this little girl still, and I cannot be in an abusive relationship at all, and neither can you. And yes, it will mean big decisions in your life. However, I could not be where I am today unless those experiences happened. And I had to learn to take care of myself without having to use other people, places, and things to make me feel better. And that's what I'm learning, and that's what I want you to learn today. I'm reading from The Language of Letting Go, December 5th, about how to deal with difficult people. Few things can make us feel crazier than expecting something from someone who has nothing to give. Few things can frustrate us more than trying to make a person someone he or she is not. We feel crazy when we try to pretend that person is someone that she's not. We may have spent years negotiating with reality concerning particular people from our past and our present. We may have spent years trying to get someone to love us in a certain way when that person cannot or will not. It is time to let it go. It's time to let him or her go. That doesn't mean we can't love that person anymore. It means that we will feel the immense relief that comes when we stop denying reality and begin accepting. We release that person to be he or she who they actually are. We stop trying to make that person be someone he or she is not. We deal with our feelings and walk away from the destructive system. We learn to love and care differently in a way that takes reality into account. We enter into a relationship with that person or new terms, taking ourselves and our needs into account. If a person is addicted to alcohol, other drugs, misery, or other people, we let go of his or her addiction. We take our hands off of it. We give his or her life back to them. And we, in the process, are given our life and our freedom in return. We stop letting what we are not getting from that person control us. We take responsibility for our life. We go ahead with the process of loving and taking care of ourselves. And we decide how we want to interact with that person, taking reality and our own best interests into account. We get angry, we feel hurt, but we land in a place of forgiveness. We set him or her free, and we become set free from bondage. That is the heart of detaching in love. And today I will work at detaching in love from troublesome people in my life. I will strive to accept reality in my relationships. I will give myself permission to take care of myself in my relationships with emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual freedom for both people as my goal. Well, I've kind of sworn off relationships now, so that's not part of me. But what I do want you to know is that when you try and force yourself, like I have, on people, trying to get what you want out of them and they are incapable of giving it, you're in denial. Period. And the only way out of denial is to accept the reality as it is, and you will have to give up a portion of your life that you absolutely love and adore and cherish. And you will love that part of your life for the rest of your life, but it will not be a part of your life for the rest of your life. Your job is to find a way to love yourself without needing somebody else in your life. Your job, my job has been, if I can get to this place of wholeness where I do not give in to other people's abuse, maybe I'll get in a relationship. But right now, I will give up every part of me because I'm not educated or schooled in that part of my life yet. So what am I doing? What I want you to do. I want you to take a look at your life. I want you to journal about it. What you love, what you don't love. What you love about this person, are they worth keeping? Are you looking at yourself and saying, what am I doing? Who am I being with this person? Am I being a nagging bitch? Am I being someone who's just struggling all the time to get the attention that I need and I want? And if that person is drinking or smoking or spending or being with somebody else, they do not want you. Why would you want them? If you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and follow. And maybe share this with somebody who needs it, because you know they do. We all do. I love you.